Hey folks, welcome to Real Southern Outdoors. Now today's video, I'm going to show you how I put up my corn. Now when I first come out here and filmed this video, I had my table and everything set up. I went through the whole process. Unfortunately, I lost some of that footage. So I come out here today to re-film some of it, and I only found one ear of corn left in this garden. So the deer and the squirrel had helped themselves to everything else. So I'm going to take this one ear of corn and I'm going to try to show you that process. Now, once you pull your corn, you need to shuck it. Now, this being the end that's connected to the stalk, I take the top where the silks come out of it and I just pull it apart, and I just pull this corn back, and I usually set up my table and I go through all this, and I have a trash can set over there, and I do it outside because this can be a messy job. But I like to just pull this shucks back off the cob, and I'll grab my cob and snap that cob out of that shuck. After you've got all your corn shucked, now it's time to get the silks out of it and all. But what I do, I set up with my table. You can see how the bugs have eat this one. Usually it'll be on the end there. I take my corn, set it on the table, and I take my cleaver and I chop that end off. Then it's time to get the silks out. Now what I do, I went to the Dollar Tree and I got a couple of these brushes, and this is just what I use them for, getting silks out of corn. Now if you'll see, now this is a poor example, but an ear of corn usually has lines in it where the kernels grow. That's where your silks are going to be. So what I do, I take my brush and I run it through just like that, and I do have a little footage left that shows me cleaning this out. So, but that's what you do. Just take that brush, run it down through there, clean those silks out, then you're ready for the next step. Okay, once you get your silks off your corn, you're going to want to do what we call blanching. And all that is basically you just get you a pot of boiling water, bring it to a rolling boil, and then put your ears of corn in, and you're going to want to boil it for about 8 to 10 minutes. I've already got one batch in, so when that one's done, we're going to pull it out, and we're going to drop it in our ice water, and we're going to put another batch in. Okay, we've been letting our corn go. Right at 10 minutes there, you can smell it when it gets good. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to just keep rotating some of this. It's been in there about 10 minutes. I'm going to put it right in this ice water. And that ice water is going to stop the cooking process and allow you to be able to put it in your freezer, because you don't want to overcook it here, so we want to stop it. Okay, while this water's still hot and boiling, I'm going to drop these small ears. I've gone through and got all my sizes of corn about the same. Then you don't overcook some of it. You know, these little small ears and stuff, if you had them in with a bunch of large ears, they probably get overcooked. That's my way of thinking anyway. You can do it however you want to. I'm going to go ahead and put these in here. Let my water come back up to a boil, and I'll start my timer, and it probably won't take as long for these, but I always like to go. One sure way to tell is you can smell it. When you start smelling that corn, you know you're good. Okay, we've run our last batch here. I shut everything down. We're going to take it out. There's going to be some small ears. Like I said, I like to run all my corn that's about the same size. If I got some small ones, I'll try to run all the small ones together so I don't overdo them. I don't want to overcook them in here. Here's where you get you a treat. Now some of these little ears that's going to be real small that you don't want to put up, now is the time. Throw them in this ice water. Let them cool down. When they're cool enough to eat, take a hold to them, Go ahead and start eating them. Now once you've pulled your corn out of your ice water, you've cooled it down enough to stop the cooking process from blanching. You want to get it ready to go in the freezer. Now there's a couple ways we can do this. You can use a vacuum sealer, put it in these vacuum seal bags, and vacuum seal it. That's probably going to prolong it a little longer than the second one. The second method, you can still use some heavy-duty freezer bags. Put your corn in there, push as much air out as you can, seal it up, and then freeze it. We're going to start putting some of this in vacuum seal bags, and I'm going to show you how I go through that process. What I do is run my roll of bags out to about enough that I kind of use my hand as a gauge, or you can take your corn, kind of put it over there and see what you need. And each vacuum sealer probably has its own way of cutting, but mine, you just put it down, run that cutter across, and it'll cut either direction. Then you're going to have to seal your next bag again. So while I'm putting corn in here, I'll put this down and I'll hit my seal button. I'll let that be sealing. Now, I'm going to take some of this corn I'll put 5 or 6 ears, whatever will fit in a bag like this. I'll try to get enough so when there's several of us eating, we'll have enough just to open one bag. Now that's finished. And some of it I'll do in singles, just like this right here. And I've already been putting up corn today, going through this. I just saved this out that I'm going to do these videos with, show you how I do it. But what you want to do is put your corn in your bag, put it in there, and make sure corn is going to have a lot of moisture to it. You're going to draw moisture out of it. So I always make sure I get that near my little drip tray there. Push it down. I like to pull that on my bag, shut down, and I'm going to change my setting on this one to moist. You can go to pulse and pulse it in, but that's up to you. You do it. Figure out how it works best for you. I will tell you, if you get a lot of water coming out of your corn up into your bag, you will have trouble with some of these sealing. And you don't want to suck a lot of water in your machine. You can ruin your machine. See, that's pulled its vacuum. Now it's sealing. There we go. There's 5 ears ready to go. I'm going to take my Sharpie and I'm going to write today's date on it. That way I know when I put it up and I'm good to go. Now I'm going to show you this pulse method that I use on my machine. If your machine has that pulse, you may want to try this if you're having a problem with the moisture getting up around your machine and it not wanting to seal good. Cut your bag the size you're going to need for your corn. Start putting it in. Now this method I'm getting ready to show you here, the pulse method, this will work anything that's got moisture to it. Especially corn has a lot of moisture in it. Like I say, if you're trying it and you just hit your vacuum, even if you've got a moisture setting. I've got a moisture setting on mine. And if I just hit vacuum sometimes, there's enough moisture in this corn that it's drawing up and it's pulling all that moisture up in here. The water is just running up in there and I don't get a good seal. You'll think you got it, you'll lay it over to the side, and if you go back in a few minutes, you'll see your bag's loose. So if you're having a trouble with that, let me show you a way that works for me. I put my corn in my bag, lock everything down. Now my mode says dry, moist, and pulse. Now I'm going to set my mode to pulse. Then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to hit my vacuum button. I'm going to let it pull the vacuum and I'm going to watch. I'm going to pull that vacuum down tight, and if I see it start trying to draw a lot of water up, I'm going to stop. When it starts getting tight right there, that's where it really wants to start pulling that water. So I'm going to stop. And I'm going to let it sit there just a second. I'm going to look at it. Everything looks good. I've got a good tight vacuum. You can hit it a couple times and check it. Then I'm going to hit seal. I have found that that works better for me with corn than just hitting the vacuum, even when it's set to the moist. With that moist setting, like I say, sometimes I still get a bag here and there that does not want to seal good. And so I'll take these and I'll set them out on the counter and I'll let them set for a little while before I put them up. And I make sure that I don't lose a seal on that with that moisture. You can see there, I've got a good solid line all the way across there where it's sealed. I still got a good vacuum, so I am good to go. We've got all our corn put up in our bags and everything. We're getting ready to put it in the freezer. But one thing that we've always done, now other people do it different ways and all, but the way we've always done it, the way I was trained to do it, I've learned is we always bag our corn and then we put it in the refrigerator overnight and let this corn cool all the way down to the cob before we put it in a freezer. So like I say, others don't and some do. So, but that's the way we've always done it for years. My mom and them, they've done it on the farm. But we put it in the refrigerator overnight, let it cool all the way down, make sure it's cool to the cob, and then we would take it and put it in the freezer. One thing you can see, we've got some's got different quantities in it. There's 4 or 5. And if you don't have a large family or say you're single, you just want some by itself, you can put it in these, cut your bag smaller, put it in there, make single ears like that. You could use 2. You can do some of my other tips that I've showed you. Some of my other videos, I show you how to separate a bag where you can use each side. And, you know, so go back and watch those videos. And something else that we're trying, we're doing an experiment. A subscriber of mine, Outside In, he raised the question about vacuum sealing in Ziploc bags. And we're going to do it. We're going to test it, and we're going to see how it holds up against our vacuum seal bags. We're going to let this be some of the last corn that we use and compare its freshness, how the bags hold up and everything, and see how it goes through this next year and compare it and give you results on that. So you'll have to keep following the channel, find out about that. And I'm going to be doing a video on that as well, as how you put it in a Ziploc bag, how you seal it and everything like that. So look to that video. So I hope this video will help you. I hope you can share it and help others. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Share my video so I can help someone else like I'm trying to help you. And until next time, may God bless you, and we'll catch you later.